What's up, guys? Welcome to the live stream. All right, so today we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, altcoins, the forex market. Obviously, like like always, we're gonna start off with Bitcoin, and we're then gonna look at the altcoin market to see if we can find anything interesting, any setups to look at. So yeah, if you have any shorting requests or anything else you want me to look at, just feel free to type it in the chat and I'll take a look at it for you. So I figured, well, we're gonna start by taking a look at Bitcoin on the higher time frames, and I got this clean shot right here. So I got a different, EGLD. Right, welcome, Mike. I'm gonna take a look at EGLD for you. I got a little pen and paper here, taking notes. Right, so I got this clean shot here for Bitcoin, and I want to talk about the weekly shot quickly here, because it just it's quite obvious, right? So I did post a thread on Twitter about my views on Bitcoin and the BTC dominance, like the relationship between the Bitcoin chart and the BTC dominance chart, and how I'm approaching the altcoin market and how I'm using the BTC dominance chart in my analysis. So definitely check out that thread on my Twitter profile. If you're not following me there already, it's at libs42. And by the way, guys, if you're watching right now and you haven't liked the live stream, please go to YouTube, where you're probably viewing the live. Press that like button. It will help me immensely. So just a little gesture from you will help me and this channel quite a lot to gain more subscribers and more views. So I'd very much appreciate that. All right, Shane, we're gonna take a look at the VET. I guess it's VET BTC, or do you want me to take a look at VET versus Bitcoin or versus USDT, or I guess both? Let's take a look at both. So Bitcoin, we are approaching. You can see the orange lines right here. These are my alerts, and I want to get alerted whenever Bitcoin breaks above the 14k area or below the 12.5k area. And the reason for that is because I believe that if we reclaim this the 14k area right here, I believe we are most likely going higher. And if we get a rounded retest at 14k area, I think that might actually be a very good entry. Right now I'm looking for a reaction at current prices, and we're gonna zoom in. We're gonna take a look at the lower time frames too, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at from that perspective too. But really, I want to show you guys a chart I posted in my individual channel in the Bird Nest. If you're not a member of the Bird Nest, check out thebirdnest.com. You can actually join for 7 days free, right? So you get this this live stream that I'm doing right now. I'm doing this publicly on YouTube today, but usually I'm doing it privately for the Bird Nest members every single day of the week. So we got a team of analysts, traders. We got trading psychologists in the group, and we have I do mostly 3 to 4 webinars a week. Then we have the Crypto Night doing once every week. We got the trading psychologist doing once and sometimes twice a week. And we got Aperture and Jay, who, well, at least Aperture wants to do like 1 or 2 a week. So daily webinars like this one will be done every day inside the Bird Nest for the members, where we scan the markets, look for setups on Bitcoin, Ethereum, the altcoin market, Forex, whatever. I want to show you a chart that I posted in my individual channel for Bitcoin. I actually have to find the chart because I haven't saved it right here, but here it is, right? So a very simple weekly outlook, right? And I did post a thread on this on Twitter too, but this is what I'm looking at, right? So you got this chart right here, and as you can see here, we have the this level right here is slightly below the 12K area, right? And as you can see on this chart right here, this is, by the way guys, this is the BTC setup. We're going to talk about that one in a minute. And as you can see here, the first line right here, we got this one, the upper one right here is right above the 12K. So it's this breakout area right here. As you can see, we broke above this area. Strong SR level. Well, I mean, it's strong, but I mean, Bitcoin hasn't really been up in this price range historically a long time at all. So we're seeing something historic happen for Bitcoin right here. We have a beautiful weekly breakout out of above these highs right here. It's I would say when we had this breakout above the 10 to 10.5k area, we came down and we had rounded retest on the weekly off that 10 to 10.5k area. That's what started the new weekly uptrend, and I believe the new weekly uptrend will look something like this, right? Well, I mean, this is how a picture perfect uptrend likes to look, right? You got the higher high right here, and as you can see, the higher high area where I want to get a higher high put in is actually let me show you, it's actually this red box resistance that we're trading slightly above right now. This could move it up like this, right? Something like that makes sense, right? So I want to see a reaction around this current area right now, but if that won't happen, the next area above is going to be around 14.9, around 15k, and at one point, obviously I have no idea when, but at some point we should get a reaction and we should get a pullback of this move right here. Now the question is, will we get a pullback down to the logical level, which is the high time frame breakout area around 12k, or will that rounded retest look like this? And we're not going to come down and test this area. We might actually only test the 14k area, the area between, let's say, 13.5 and 14k. That's very likely, but for that to happen, we need to get the reaction higher. I don't really see a small rounded retest here. I want that to be bigger, so I want the reaction to be put in between 15 and 15.5k, right? So up in this region is where I look for a possible reaction if we pump higher. Now let's say that Monday market open tomorrow, right? What if the Monday market open and price and the market decides to dump, right? Now, if that's happening, I'd really like to see that happen here, actually. If we get a reaction up here, my plan is not going to be... Well, my plan in my head, I haven't really planned, that's what I'm trying to say, right? I haven't really planned for the reaction up here. I have a very clear plan for a reaction here, and that plan involves a reaction here, a round retest on the weekly, and the keyword here is the weekly. This is the type of round retest I'm looking for. So remember, we're still in my plan and in my book, we're still 3, 4, 5 weeks from testing this level down here. Now that could definitely happen like that too. That's more like gonna take a couple of months, right? But that's something I'm looking at, and you might be looking at this, right? Well, if we get a move like that, that would be super bearish for Bitcoin, but I don't think so. I don't think so. A lot of people got very bearish on Bitcoin here because they thought that, well, we're never going to break above the 12k resistance. We're never going to break above the 12k resistance, and we're going to see, the 765k area down here again. But obviously that didn't happen. We actually just came down, round the weekly retest of the breakout area right here. So, I mean, that's just beautiful, 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 simple high time frame round the weekly retest of the breakout level, right? And remember how extremely bullish everyone got here and how extremely goddamn bearish everybody got here. Now we're kind of like in the same region right here where the whole market, the whole world basically is super bullish on Bitcoin right here, And imagine how extremely bearish everybody will become when we get this move right here. So I'm looking for a potential, you know, 20% decrease in price, right? A 20% pullback, right? But that's all in the plan, because I'm looking for something like this. I'm looking for a pullback down to the 12K area, and that's what's going to take us to all-time highs, right? So we need a proper pullback to kind of, that would be good for this move. We don't want to see a move like the one we got in 2017, where we had a pretty much a parabolic run to 20K and then a blow off top, where I don't know if you remember that time when we actually hit 20K and the insane mainstream media attention Bitcoin got. I remember when Katy Perry uploaded, it's not because I'm following her on Instagram or stuff like that, it's because, you know, it became major news in the crypto, like on CT, crypto Twitter, where she basically released or published a image where she had painted her nails in different altcoin logos, right? And I remember seeing that, like, well, this is definitely the top, right? And shortly after that, we had a super massive reaction at 20K, and those things started to pop up around 20K, and we're not really there yet. We're starting to see a lot of retail FOMO and a lot of big interest from the mainstream media, but we're not really there yet. I think that might be what's going to fuel us from like 15K to 20K, and we're probably going to get a crazy reaction in 20K again. But imagine when we break above 20K and Bitcoin is actually at all-time highs and in positive price discovery. That's going to be quite immense, intense, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to get a repeat of 2017, where the whole world kind of remembers what happened back then, where everybody looked at this, but it kind of, you know, failed to get in on that move, and they want to get in on something similar. And for some reason, people want to buy high and sell low, right? They're looking at a chart and like, holy shit, it's super high. I'm going to buy here. I'm going to buy more because it's super high, and because of that fact it's going higher, right? And when it's super low, they're like, all right, this is really, really cheap, I'm going to be buying here. But the problem is that's not really how trading works, right? All right, guys, hit that like button if you don't mind. Right, so that's Bitcoin on the higher time frames, and now let's go down and take a look at the lower time frames right here. And as closer as we get to the low time frames, we're going to be watching the setup that we got right here. We have an active setup in the Bird Nest right now, so if you guys are interested in that, if you're not members of the Bird Nest right now, but you're interested in actually seeing the setup, you can actually now get free access if you visit the link in the description below. Go to thebirdnest.com, press that 7 days trial, and you gain instant access to the Discord. This is not exactly the same setup that we got in the group. We actually did take a look at a very similar setup on yesterday's stream. So the Bird Nest member who watched my stream yesterday, where I entered the trade live, should already be in a position with a pretty good profits already, I would say. But this is the setup I'm looking at for Bitcoin right here, and I want to kind of break it down here for you. We had this 4 hour or 1 hour, whatever you want to call it, low time frame range right here. We had a massive break out of the range up into high time frame resistance right here. And let's see, we had this sharp reaction right here, right? So we had this very, very sharp reaction right here. We then formed a W structure where the bottom of the W, or the double bottom of the W, is complement with range EQ, and the neckline of the W is very close to the range high area. And if you incorporate this high right here, you can kind of draw this area right here as the range highs. I would say the neckline is confluent with the range high. We had a breakout. That breakout took us to the short RLC of this dump right here. Let's put on the RLC and you can see what I mean, right? If you're new to this channel and you don't really know what the RLC is, I've got a playlist called Learn Technical Analysis where I go through the RLC. So check that out, go to that playlist and check out the RLC video where I did describe exactly what the RLC is, how I'll use it in my trading, and how you could apply that to your own trading. I also have a video in the, I think I got a playlist called Tips and Tricks or something like that, where I have the RLC to RLC trading setup where you can look at that. It's just a basic overview of that. It's something I'm working with my private students in the business right now to kind of, working on a document for them to show them the exact details, the in and outs of that system. So yeah, if you're interested in learning everything I know about trading, check out the private mentorship program in the Birdnest if you're interested in that. It's all in the site. Go to thebirdnest.com if you're interested in that. All right, so this is the short RLC. We pumped out of the range high right here, the W that I've just talked about, came up and tested the short RLC right here. So we were talking about this being, in my Bitcoin report in the Birdnest, we were talking about this being a very important pivot point, right? So if this could be the top, right? Or we could get a rounded retest of the W neckline and then continuation to the upside. Well, what happened here was we got a reaction at the short RLC as expected. And I remember telling you guys that if you enter inside the short RLC, you should have your stops either above the short RLC or above this high right here. And you should move your stops to entry whenever you hit this level right here. Maybe take like, I don't know, like 10-25% profit or something like that. Move your stop to entry. Entry would have been in this area somewhere. This would have been a profitable trade, but the idea here was that if this was the high right here and we would have lost this level where, well, I mean, that could very well have been the move that took us to 12K. So I do believe that the risk to reward up on this short was absolutely beautiful. Now, because of the fact that we did not break through the old range right here, we held the neckline of the W, we held the range high right here, and we're now actually breaking up, not only above this area, but we're getting a nice bounce inside this area right here, where you kind of see how it's confluent with the prior low time frame short RLC. So you got a nice SR level right here, you had a rounded retest, a breakdown here, so it's definitely a interesting area to be used as support and resistance. You can see how it's, broke above here, used as support, broke down, powerful move. So whenever you break through a level to the upside or the downside where you get a powerful breakout, that could be a good sign of that level actually being quite strong. On the hourly time frame, you see some powerful reactions of this level right here, right? Also indicative of a powerful level. You get a powerful breakout here too, so a very important SR level on the lower time frames, right? Now, something interesting to note about this move right here is the fact that if you actually add the RLC of this latest up move right here, because this is the impulse move that took us above this SR level, and you can kind of see how, let's adjust this a little bit, something like this. This is the SR level I'm talking about, the 13,635, right? Now you want to take the low of that move that broke the level to the high to find the long RLC, right? So let's see if we can find the long RLC here. Now what we want to see here is we want to see confluence with this SR level and the long RLC. We want to see this bounce inside the long RLC. That could be some very nice confluence on the lower time frames, exactly like we were looking at a short on the short RLC here. We're now looking at a long in the long RLC here. So let's add the long RLC and let's see what we get here. So we're going to select the low to the high, And as you can see here, we're not only getting a bounce, we're getting a perfect bounce of the long RLC right here. This is the type of price action I want to see to go long, right? You get a wick down to test the SR level constant with the midpoint of the RLC. The midpoint of the RLC is the 0.2702 Fibonacci retracement level. The RLC is the area between 0.786 and 0.618, where the most important level is the 618, right? Now, how I like to trade RLC, you can check the video in the technical analysis playlist if you want the details, but it's basically like this. You want to see price come down and test the RLC, create bullish market structure inside the RLC, and move out, and then a reclaim of the 618. We got something similar. We created a low inside the RLC. We broke out of the RLC, came down, and then bounced up the 618. The important thing here is that the bounce of the 618 is actually higher than the actual low inside the RLC, which should be obvious if you're using the RLC in the right way. Now we decided to enter right here with a stop below, not only below the RLC, but below or close to these lows right here, right? And the move to the upside, like what are we looking at for a move to the upside? Well, let's zoom out again and take a look at the higher time frames. So everyone who's watching this, you should always, even if you're trading the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 5 minute, or the 15 minute, or whatever, you should always watch the higher time frames. The higher time frames, the higher time frame levels are always going to be important, more important than the lower time frames level. So levels to the upside. Well, we got this red box resistance right here, and it might not look like much here, but we're gonna take a look at this area right here. The reason why I'm using this red rectangle here is because when I'm changing time frame in TradingView, it pulls me back to current date, and I don't know why. I would really like it if TradingView could, if I'm back here, I'd like to actually stay here when I switch to the daily, but as you can see, I switched to the daily and now I'm, all the way here. I don't know, man, it's weird. But we want to be looking at 4 hour. I want to zoom in on this level right here and kind of show you what I'm looking at right here. Why I've chosen this level as the resistance, right? And you can kind of see how it's an important pivot point right here. You can kind of have a head and shoulders type almost pattern right here, and you get a breakout, act as support, 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 and whenever you touch this level right here, you have a strong move to the upside, strong move to the upside, breakdown, strong move to the downside with a bearish reaction, break above again, strong move to the downside with a bearish reaction. So price really plays with this level quite powerful. And the moves from the reactions and the bounces are quite powerful, right? So it's definitely an important level. That's why I've got it, marked out on the chart right here. So that's going to be the take profit area, at least the early take profit area. And the way I like to trade is I don't want to I don't want to clearly define my levels. The important levels for me, and this is very important, guys, I think this is most likely how most successful traders think and trade. It's much more important. So let me think here. I have to actually say this the right way. So entry and stop loss is way more important than take profits. Why? Because you might ask, well, if the entry is very good and the stop loss is very good, but the take profit is very bad, it's a bad trade, right? Of course it's a bad trade, but the idea of trading, right? The keys to successful trading, guys, is you want to let your winners run, right? So it's much better to define your take profits areas. Of course, you make a plan and you define the take profit areas, but you always plan to let the trade run, right? So if you get a good entry and a stop loss, like the invalidation area is very, very clear, and I like this on the 4 hour, for example. It's, you know, the invalidation area is below the last swing low on this 4 hour trend. The idea is to ride this 4 hour trend to the upside until the trend is no longer bullish, right? So, I mean, this is going to be the take profit area, but I'm obviously not going to exit fully here. I'm just gonna write it up, and you know, we got levels at 15k, we got 16k and 17k, so we got some high targets right here. I mean, if this runs all the way to 17k, that would be a nice 10-hour trade. So we got some nice levels for this trade right here, but obviously it's a bit risky because you're basically longing resistance, but it's a high time frame resistance area, and where if you're gonna put numbers on where the most resistance is on the low time frames inside this resistance area, it's definitely below price. So I think we're broken above the low time frame cluster inside this high time frame resistance. So we're actually seeing bullish market structure inside high time frame resistance, but that bullish market structure is above the area inside this resistance zone that's most of the resistance, right? So we already broken above most of this resistance, right? Now again, if we get a proper breakdown here, we're still looking at the 12k area, so we're most likely going to be able to fill some very nice bids inside the 12k area, right? So it's yeah, that's my thoughts on Bitcoin right there. Now we want to look at altcoins, so let's pull up the market scanner. So if you guys are not familiar, if you're not in the bird nest, we have a market scanner available to all the members of the Discord. Let's see if I can find it here. Right, there it is. You can see it to the left here. So I use this on a daily basis. I look for altcoins with decent market structure here. So we're gonna go down to the current charts. All right, so let's see. Anything interesting? Are we seeing anything interesting here? Let's see. We got Yo-Yo. I don't know what this is. We're gonna take a look at this Link USDT setup too. We got a active Link USDT trade in the Discord. Nah, man, this looks like shit. All right, Dusk. Let's take a look at Dusk BTC. You know, I guess this is interesting, but we need to break above this level right here. So this level currently being used as resistance, that's the area we need to break above. And if we actually can manage to break above this area, we want to buy this, right? This could definitely be a good candidate for something to go long on when the the alt season, as people like to call it, alt season or alt window or whatever opens. And I would be looking at a move like this, right? So this could definitely be a long-term bottom for Dusk BTC if we can manage to reclaim this area. I'm just gonna save this chart right here, like that. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let's take a look at the short request right here. So we got EGLD. Right, so I can definitely say that this is in a clear daily downtrend. We do not most likely want to buy this right here. Let's add the RLC. So I'm gonna draw the RLC here, and I'm gonna ignore this wick right here. I'm gonna use this as the high. I think that makes more sense, and it would make more sense. It would make sense to use the high that creates confidence with this high on the fib. So let's see what we get here. Yeah, I mean, no. This move is just too big to make any sense of. We're in a cluster of, let's call it, support area, definitely down here. So we are hitting an important level right here. And I would say this is the level we should be watching. Let's make that a zone right here. So that high right there to, could we use that low? Yeah, I think this is good. So yeah, if you want to long this, you should definitely look for a reclaim of this green box right here before longing, because right now what I'm seeing is a very clear downtrend where you have the, we got a get a low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, and high, higher high, higher high. So it's obviously in a daily downtrend, but reclaiming this green box resistance and seeing a confirmed bounce inside here would, confirm a bullish market structure again. Really, the reclaim of this level is really what's going to confirm a bullish market structure, definitely. But this one could be the beginning of that break, right? So reclaim. Let's see, reclaim 600 sats for a move up to the 700 to 800 area. And if we reclaim the 700 to 800 area, we are most likely going to see a high time frame reversal for a move much higher, right? So that's this is what I'm watching, right? Let's look at the 4-hour right here. So it's looking quite good. We're getting a potential double bottom W formation here, and right below this should be resistance. So this red box resistance right here, just like we got here, right? Double bottom W formation on the bounce right here. It created a huge move. We then get a M structure, which is just basically this but upside down, right? So top structure, bottom structure right here. We're now seeing a potential bottom structure being put in right below resistance right here. So if you get a move like this, right? If you get a move like this, breakout, retest, go, right? You want to enter inside this area right here. Stop loss should be below these lows and take profit. First take profit should be around the 675. The next take profit should be around 709, and the last take profit for this setup probably around 800 or 700. Best is just 787 or something like that. I actually quite like this. I'm gonna save this too for future reference. So I'm saving all of these charts in my private channel, the individual channel. All right, that's that one. Let's go. We've got the market scanner right here. So I'm liking that. EGLD. Now let's take a look at VET. I like VET. V-Chain. V-Chain. Right, that's wrong. Yeah, well, I don't like this. This is not good. Not good. So we failed to hold the long RLC here, coupled with this support level, it's not looking good for VeChain. I'm now looking for a move down to the 60 sats area. So I don't really have anything to say here. We're most likely gonna get a bounce down to 60 sats, but we need to actually see a confirmed bounce. And honestly, for VET BTC, I'm not really. Let's see. Yeah, you know, we might see a nice trade where we can, you know, enter at 60 sats and sell around 100. That would be a nice 2x maybe, but stop loss needs to be pretty wide, and I would like to see a kind of like a sweep and reclaim here of the lows where you lose this one and then use this one as support again. So something like this, right? You break down, reclaim. This could be your setup, right? Enter here, stop loss here, take profit here. That's what I'm looking at on VET BTC. It's honestly not looking good. VET versus USDT. So what do we have here? Saved by the 55 EMA on the weekly, which is you know, nice, I guess, but it's the second retest on the weekly. So in a quite strong downtrend here on the daily, we lost the 2-1 simple after having used it as support for quite some time here. I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yes, AVE. I don't know what AVE. AAV. AAV. AVE. Yes. You know. Right, so before I continue with the altcoin scan here, I really want to talk about the BTC dominance chart. So, like I said, I did do a thread on Twitter about this, but I think it's very, very important that we talk about this because, you know, it's I'm seeing a lot of people ask me about, you know, what altcoins are you looking at to buy the dip, right? Where what altcoin, like as soon as altcoins just gets red all over, like across the board, everybody starts thinking about buying, right? So let me give you a good example of this, right? Let's look at right. Yes, all right. So I'm pretty sure you guys remember this this insane crazy pump right here. You know what? Let's take a look at Filecoin. Is probably a better example. No. So everybody was starting to, you know, everybody was super bullish here, and we made a lot of money. We had this massive head and shoulders, but never mind that one. And then I start getting messages, right? I start getting messages, and they're like, "Can I buy this now? Can I buy this now? Where can I buy? Where's the best where's the best entry on Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi. Let's just call it Wi-Fi. So where's the best entry right now on Wi-Fi?" And there is no best entry on Wi-Fi right now because we're in a very strong high time frame downtrend. Altcoins are not made to be bought in a strong downtrend when the BTC dominance is bullish. Right, so when the BTC dominance is bullish, like this, when the BTC dominance is bullish, altcoins tend to perform very, very bad. When the BTC dominance is bullish, you don't want to be buying altcoins. You want to be shorting altcoins, right? Because this means that the money is flowing out of Bitcoin into, out of altcoins into Bitcoin. People are selling altcoins to be positioning themselves in Bitcoin or better, right? So when the BTC dominance is in a uptrend, altcoins are going to be in a downtrend. However, when the BTC dominance is in a downtrend, like we got right here, right? This is what you call an alt season. This is what you call not an alt season. This right here is what you call an alt window. This right here is what you call an alt window. This is a not an alt window, this is an alt window. So inside these altcoin alt season, you have alt windows, right? And with an alt window, I mean just a couple of days up to a week of very good altcoin gains, right? And that's when you want to be trading altcoins. Whenever, you know, as an altcoin trader, you need to be very careful, because you can't just go out looking for trades all the time, every day, right? And that's why I took this as an example, right? You need to be trading altcoins when the BTC dominance is showing signs of reaction or showing signs of potential bearish breaks in market structure. When the BTC dominance is creating lower lows and lower highs, that's when you should be risk on with altcoins. And what I mean by that is, risk on means you should be buying altcoins. Risk off means you should not be buying altcoins, or you should be shorting altcoins, right? So just because altcoins, I think that, you know, there's this meme going around where everybody's like, buy the dip on all, you know, buy the dip, buy the goddamn dip all the day. I'm seeing people talking about buy the dip, but like, let's not buy the dip. Let's buy bullish market structure. It's that goddamn simple. Like, if you're buying the dip in a, like, there's a difference between is being, I mean, there's a fine line between being stupid and buying the dip. Let me talk to you about this, because if you buy the dip on Wi-Fi, if you bought this dip, if you bought this dip, if you bought this dip, if you buy this dip, you are losing money, right? You're losing money. It's not about buying the dip as soon as something actually dips. It's about buying the dip when the bottom has been put in, right? When you're seeing signs of the bottom actually being put in on the low time frames, that's when you want to be buying the dip. You don't want to be just going out just buying the goddamn dip. Like, that's just a meme. You're going to be losing money if you buy the dip, because there's no such thing as just buying the dip as a strategy, right? You got to be looking at price structure. You got to be looking at the price action. You got to be telling yourself, like, is this a downtrend? Yes. Are there signs of a reversal? No. Am I going to be buying this? Well, obviously not, right? But let's take a look at the 4 hour right here. Did we see any type of you know, possible dips to be bought here? Well, you know, there is some interesting opportunities right here. And now with this, I'm going to what's up, Dustin? Hope you guys are doing good. Yes, I can definitely pull up RSR. And by the way, man, thanks for the support recently. I really do appreciate your support, and it's really cool to have you here live. So what you want to be doing when looking at the weekly or the daily for, you know, being in that buy the dip mode, you want to be zooming in on the, you know, the 4 hour or the hourly or something like that, and you want to be seeing like a bottom formation being put in. And after that bottom formation is being put in, you want to see a breakout. And after the breakout has happened, you want to see a retest of the breakout level with a confirmed bounce, right? So let's see if we can find anything here on the 1 hour, right? Right, so here we got something interesting, right? So you're getting some type of bounce down here where you have a strong downtrend, right? Strong downtrend right here. And you're getting, you know, higher highs and higher lows. You're getting a low, higher low, a higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high. Now, you want to be looking at a confirmed bounce somewhere along these lines right here, right? And you also have this area above here, which acted as strong support here, and you can kind of judge that support by the strong bounce right here. So this is definitely an important area right here. And if you want to be buying this dip right here, you want to be seeing this type of price action, right? So you want to be seeing this, and you want to be buying here or here. Now, obviously, we failed to bounce here. We just went straight through, and the next time we came up and tested that area, it's a high time frame bearish reaction, right? Now you get a type of bottom being put in here, but because of the fact that you have high time frame resistance up here, you want to wait for price to actually reclaim this resistance right here. Let's see if we get any other examples right here. And this is definitely a good example right here. So we get a low, a high low, a high, and a higher high with a uptrend being formed here. Now this could have been an interesting area to buy, right? So you got a level right here. And you might have bought the confirmed bounce of that level where you had a break in market structure here, get a breakout, price comes down to retest that level right here, and you get a bounce, right? So you could have been buying right here, right? Buy that confirmed bounce with a stop below that one, and you want to take profits at, let's say you get this level up here, right? So that low wick here, confluent with, you get that low right here. This low wick is confluent with this area, right? So you want to front run that level just a little bit, take some profits up here at 1.1. You take some profits here, you then move your stop to entry, right? Because when buying the dips on altcoins, you have to be very careful because price can just dump straight through like you're seeing here, right? So you take some profits up here, like 25% or something like that, stop to entry. Price fails to reclaim this, and it's not only failing to reclaim this level, you're actually getting a top formation being put in here, a M structure being put in, a breakdown, and a retest of that neckline of the M structure, and continuation to the downside. So if I were you and watching this live on the hourly, I would most likely have sold right here. I've just exit the whole position right here because it's a very clear top being put in right here. Now what happens here? Well, the dip that people tell you to buy here or here or here, well, that did not work out that very well, right? Now we get another bottom formation being put in right here, a W structure, right? You get a W breakout. Now you want to be longing the confirmed bounce of the neckline of that W. Now what happens? Well, not really bounce. It's being used as it's being used as resistance right here. So yeah, that's a quick little lesson on how to actually buy the dip on altcoins. Do not just go out and look for something to buy because it's looking very cheap or whatever. It's probably looking cheap because it's shit. I mean, that's just that's just how it is. 99% of all the altcoins out there is most likely going to be worth 0 sometime in the future. So it's very risky to be buying bearish market structure because the chances are quite high that that bearish market structure will never turn into high time frame bullish market structure ever again. So yeah, I just feel a bit pissed on people trying to get newbies into buy the dip mode on everything and just lose everything they own. It's just very, for influencers and professional traders or professional crypto Twitter traders or whatever you want to call it, it feels very not really responsible to their followers used to tell everyone like, now I'm buying the dip on everything, I'm buying the dip on all coins, I'm buying the dip here. And what they don't realize is that people are actually going out and actually buying everything that's going down without realizing that there's way more to it than just buying the dip, right? All right, so did we take a look at that USDT? Let's see. Did we? I don't think so. Right, so we need to, yeah, we need to create bullish market structures. We need to reclaim the, we got a nice level right here with the 21 EMA on the daily with the 200 simple and the 200 EMA right here. So we need to reclaim this level right here. That's a reclaim of this area right here. That's when we most likely have medium time frame market structure reversal in play. And when I'm talking about buying when this level gets reclaimed. I'm not only talking about price ticking above it, I'm talking about price actually breaking above it, then having a rounded retest and bouncing off that level. So I'm recently I'm all about waiting for a confirmed bounce before entering anything. I'm way more profitable if I actually wait for the price action. Like before you enter orders for a setup, ask yourself, if my orders gets hit inside the buy zone, what do I want to see to feel comfortable being in this position, right? Now, imagine if price comes down into your buy zone and it hits all of your buy orders perfectly. What would you want to see for you to be comfortable with those buys? Now, you take that price action and you do not buy anything until that price action has actually presented itself. So when you see that type of price action, that's when you want to be buying. So just try to trick your mind into thinking that you're actually in the position, and then you ask yourself, like, what do I want to see now to actually be comfortable with being in this position? And then you wait for that price action to show itself, and then you enter the position. Confirmation is key. Confirmation, letting your winners run, that's how you become a profitable trader. Let's take a look at RSR BTC. Let's take a look at BTC and USDT. Alright, so this is interesting. It looks like it's been some type of bottom has definitely been put in here. It's not really, when you're looking at most altcoins right now, it looks like this. Now this is different because we're not at all-time lows. We're not at looking a bit better. But remember, this is on the higher time frames. Right, so let's look at the 4 hour here. Jag streamar.
Gör du?
Ja, det gör jag.
Nej,
Jo, det gör jag. Vad tänkte du på?
det gör du inte.
Ja, men det gör jag visst. Jag sitter här nu och streamar.
Gör du?
Ja, det gör jag. Vad tänkte du på?
Men jag går.
Alright, sorry guys. My girlfriend came in and I don't know what she wants really. She probably forgot I was streaming. I wonder what plans she had. maybe I should quit streaming for tonight. All right, so let's pull up the ROC right here. All right, so RSR. So this is the 4 hour right here. Now I think. Yeah, honestly, I think we need to reclaim the 702 right here. So we need to reclaim. Let's put in a zone right here. Yeah, that looks good as resistance. Oh wow, sorry guys. So that's the Hiobi. All right, more data, but what kind of like? Yes, that's right. It's got more data. Yes, because it's been listed on Hiobi. Let's take a look at the EOB chart. Yes, this is way different. This is way different, and it's looking way better. So we're actually inside the long RLC here on the high time frames, and that level that I talked about is actually confluent with the midpoint of the RLC here. So it makes much more sense to look at this on EOB. And the level I want reclaimed right here is obviously the midpoint of the RLC would be great. Just like this. Now, if this is the bottom, let's assume that this move is going to hit the low time frame RLC, which is also I mean, guys, come on, it's in absolute perfect confluence. The 618 of the short RLC is in perfect confluence with the high time frame long RLC 618. So when you get this type of confluence, it's this is the RLC to RLC setup where you have a high time frame RLC and you find shorter, smaller time frame RLCs inside that RLC. I mean, there's so much confluence here with RLCs. This level is definitely very interesting, and I'm thinking we want to reclaim this level for at least a move up inside the short RLC here, and that's going to be the important area. Can we reclaim this level up here? The setup that I'm looking at is going to be something like this, right? So that's going to be the first take profit at 1.63R. Now the stop loss can be, the stop loss placement will be depending on how this bounce actually looks. Again, you want to see a breakout around the retest and then long the confirmation. Now, if you get a move like this where this is going to be the low of the the swing low before the confirmed bounce, you can have the stop loss down here, and this trade would be 3.5R only to the first take profit. But in this case, if you have a 3.5R up to the 618, I would probably put the first take profit around 2.4, 2.5R. And looking at the high time frames, we're obviously going to be looking at the short RLC of this whole move down here. That's going to be our final and last take profit. And as always, we're not going to exit fully. We're going to be letting this run. So you should always have 10 to 25% of your position still open. And this is definitely an interesting trade, like a 17R trade. Obviously, it's not going to be 17R if you exit partially on the way up. It's more like going to be a 8 or 9R trade, but still very interesting setup right here. That's this is way more riskier though, and the real RLC to RLC setup would be this, right? Higher probability, less risky, but not as much profits, but still 70% move. Stop loss is going to be wherever the low of the swing, where you get the confirmed bounce of the 618. Right. I quite like that actually. I'm just gonna post this too in my channel. You can save it for future reference. And this one, All right, what else? Yes, thank you, Badge. Badge? Sobel? Bach. Probably Bach, right? What else? AAVE. Do we have any more price action here? Not really. Right, so let's take a look at this one versus Bitcoin. Weekly. And I guess this is interesting because we have some clear weekly levels here of interest. Well, we lost the 55 EMA weekly complement with this last weekly high here. That's obviously not really bullish price action. Now we got some nice compliments here with the 786 down here, complement with that support. So we're gonna go down to the daily. All right, so we have a very strong downtrend going on right here, but we have some fib confluence here, confluent with a support area. So I want to see a bounce at 700 sats, right? So 1700 sats, that's where I want to see a bounce, and we're likely going to see a bounce down there. If we lose that area, we have a possible, if possible, 40% move to the downside until we hit next major support, which is around 1045. So obviously, you know, some very deep retracement levels for whatever this is called. But we should see a bounce around 1700, 1700. So yeah, look for a bounce down here. Look for a bounce and bullish market structure, at least on the 4-hour. And with bullish market structure, this is what you should look at: a double bottom W formation, breakout, and then a retest and a confirmed bounce, right? If you would have longed this breakout, you would have lost money. If you would have longed the retest of that neckline, you would have lost money. But if you would have waited for an actual confirmed bounce before entering, you would not have lost any money. And another great thing that I want to show you is the fact that if you can add the long LC to this breakout move right here, so you get the low to the high right there, and if the neckline of the W is in confluent with the RLC and especially the 618, you have some great confluence right here, and you should be looking at bullish market structure inside the RLC on the low time frames like the hourly and like this, right? Beautiful, beautiful. You get the breakout area right here, confluent with the midpoint of the RLC right there, and you want to be like, you get a bounce here. You get a beautiful bounce here. Now what you want to see is like a move out of the RLC and then bounce up to 618, but instead of that you get a move back down and an M structure. So get a W structure here, and here you have an M structure, right? You break down, bearish retest, continuation to the downside. This is exactly what you do not want to see, but this is what you want to see with a bounce and continuation. That's when you want to buy. So this price structure right here without the breakdown is what you want to see, you know, down here. That's what you should be looking at on this coin. You know what, guys? I'm gonna have to do a quick look at my green list, and after that I have to go on with my Forex planning for the next week. Right, so we got the weekly, daily for Theta USDT. Possible M structure with the neckline of that M structure be with, you know, got the strong confluence with high time frame fib level. We got the 236 right here. So this setup right here never happened, right? That was one of the you know, RLC to RLC setups. Now the RLC to RLC setup would look a bit different, obviously with way less profits on this one. It might not be favorable, but the fact that we got that high time frame fib complement with the midpoint of this fib could be in for a decent trade like this. That's something I'm looking at. I'm gonna put an alert right there. Right, got Ethereum USDT. We are, I like this. We're bouncing inside the long RLC and we're now back up inside that high time frame resistance area, complement with the 50% fib. You know, I not sure, but I mean, we need to see a rounded retest of the 395 level. So 395 is the level I'm looking at for Ethereum to reclaim for higher prices. So I would like to see a breakout and a rounded retest on the 4-hour for a move up inside the short RLC and especially this weekly level up here. That's what I'm looking at on Ethereum. I got .USDT. This yeah, this is just breaking down, not interested at all. Waves USDT. What are we seeing right here? Well, we are seeing something quite interesting. As you can see here, I was looking at this setup right here, but that never happened because we broke down here. But we had a quite powerful move to the upside right here, but we kind of failed to reclaim this area down here. So I'm still looking for a retest of this breakout area, which is gonna be this level right here. So that's what I'm looking at. Not gonna put in an alert, I'm just gonna monitor this one. So we got Anchor, Anchor USDT. We are now inside the high time frame RLC. We've been talking about this for a while, and this is where I want to see high time frame, you know, a bullish break in market structure, because we're inside the high time frame RLC being measured from this low to this high, and we're also inside the medium time frame RLC being measured from this low to this high right there. It's also the last month's open and the 21 EMA and the weekly. So we want to see bullish market structure right here inside this RLC, a break out of the RLC, and then come down and retest the 618 area, which is this right here. And we are seeing a possible higher low here, which could mean that we are seeing a W pattern, a double bottom formation, a breakout and retest. That would be the trade. First take profit would be the 618 of the short RLC of the latest down move, which is this right here. So the trade would look like this. A breakout retest of the 618 area, which is this. Stop should be below the last swing low prior to breakout. First take profit 3R, last take profit high time frame 618. 75% move, very nice trade. I like this. I'll post this in my channel, and then I'm gonna take a closer look at this one. All right, so what else do we have? Link USDT. So this setup is active, and I like it. Looking pretty good. This is the link setup. You can find the details in the bird nest, and quite simple. This is what I'm looking at now. Let's take a look at the Forex pairs right here, and let's see what do we have here. When right Right. Ah, the screen is black. That's weird. Why is the screen black? Well, because I pressed the wrong one. Weird. All right. Yeah, that's the setup right there. Now let's see if we can find anything interesting on in the forex market. So I've already posted two plans on in the forex channel and the bird nest. We have So I'm gonna show you here, right? I have. If you can see here in the upper corner right here, I did a quite extensive analysis on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily for AUD CAD and AUD CHF. And if you're interested in that, go to the forex channel in the bird nest, and I'm gonna continue with the list, and I'm gonna continue doing this with the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and possibly the 4 hour of the pairs that I'm looking at, because I think the high, like trading the higher time frames, that's where the that's where the money is really. Well, I should say that's where the stress-free money is. Right, so we got that one, this one. You know what? I've got a system here where as you can see here, this watch list right here is called FX Majors Plus, and if it's the FX Majors, and then I've added some other stuff like the other stuff that I like trading, other pairs, and gold and silver, and the S&P with oil, and actually I can't find oil right here. Weird. I should have it in here. BC, isn't it here? It's not. Weird. Thought I'd have it in here. There we go. Right, so what I do is I mark all of these as blue, and then I go to the blue list, and yeah, that's not right. We need to remove all of these. Alright, so just give me a minute and I'm gonna show you again. So I get blue, mark all of these as blue, without but not the ones that I've already shorted, like the S&P 500, gold, and all that. So these are the ones that I've got left to short and make plans for. So I mark them as blue and I move to the blue list. Now, whenever I've actually finished an analysis on one of these, I just press the blue flag right here, and it's going to be removed from the blue list. So that's just a tip. This is the wrong chart, obviously. Let's see. And guys, if you have any more short-term questions, let me know. Right, so let's start with AUD JPY. Quite simple here. We're gonna look at the monthly first. Monthly 20 EMA, and by the way, guys, like in the forex market, I'm using the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA. But in the altcoin market, I'm using the 21 and the 55. So I've had better success with the 21 and 55 in the crypto market, and in the forex market, I like to use the 20 and the 50 instead. So the moving averages that I mostly use is, by the way, guys, if you have any questions about my trading style, my TA techniques, or anything at all trading related, just ask me in the chat and I will help you out with that. So the moving averages that I use is the 21, the 55, and this is crypto, right? And in Forex it's the 20 and the 50. So it's the 21, the 55, the 200 EMA, and the 200 SMA. I think that's it. Yeah, that's actually all the ones I use. I was using way more before, but those are actually the only ones I'm using right now. Let's see. Yeah, the 20, 50, 200. So I used the 20, the 50, 200 EMA, and the 200 simple. The 200 simple I like to use on the higher time frames to kind of see the general trend. Right, so this is quite interesting. Now we're gonna take a look at the daily too. So this is what you call confidence, right? So you have, first of all, got fib levels right here, and we're gonna add this to 20. So I like this indicator right here. It's I can watch the daily 20, the daily 50, and the daily 200 EMA on whatever time frame I'm looking at, right? So if I'm looking at the weekly, I can still see the daily moving averages, and on the 4 hour I can still see the daily moving average, right? So you got the weekly right here, and we can say some beautiful confidence here between the weekly green 50 EMA and the 200 daily EMA right there, confident with the 236 fib level, right? So some very strong confidence with a very strong SR level, right? So we're now breaking below here, and the plan is to go short on a bearish reaction of this level above here for a move all the way down to the 382, and if we're lucky, all the way down to the long RC down to the 618. That's obviously going to be a high time frame reversal, but as you can see on the daily, we have already started a new daily downtrend, and it might continue even lower. And the idea is to get in on a bearish retest of the 200 EMA, and also the 200 EMA is what I use to like, I try never to short when price is above the 200 EMA, and I try never to long when price is below the 200 EMA. And right now we're seeing a possible bearish reaction of the 200 EMA with the 20 EMA being below the 50, so a bearish bear cross between those two. It's looking quite bearish, right? And the Australian dollar is it's looking quite bearish across the board, so that might continue into the next week. So I'm looking to, this would most likely be a swing trade, and I'm looking to go long on a confirmed reaction up inside this red box resistance, confident with the 200 EMA, right? Now I would be quite pissed honestly if this is the top, like we're front running this area, but you know what, like that shit happens. You can't be right all the time, but it's better to be wrong than to be, it's better to be wrong and not enter the trade than to FOMO into something that you're gonna be wrong on anyway. I'm gonna put in an alert right here, right there, and I think the plan here, like I said, I'm just gonna pull up the chart here on, let's see, the daily, and make a post here in the bird nest. Oh, I like that. Nice. Yeah, obviously that's not what I'm looking at, but I like, you know, stuff like that. All right, sell a confirmed rejection of the high time frame resistance confluent with the high time frame 236 fib and the daily 200 EMA plus weekly 50 EMA. Right. See, get AUDJPY. All right. And you know, the techniques I'm using here in the Forex market is very much you can absolutely use it in the crypto market too. It's just that for the Forex market is in my opinion easier to trade on the high time frames, and the Forex market is definitely more like trading Bitcoin, while altcoins is definitely a whole nother game. Like I talked about before in the beginning or in the middle of this live stream, I've talked about you know, how you should use the BTC dominance and look for the alt windows, the alt seasons or whatever, and kind of incorporate that in your altcoin trading. With Forex you don't need to do that. With Bitcoin you don't need to do that. So Bitcoin and Forex is more similar than what altcoins and Bitcoin and Forex is. So the trading techniques, the break and retest strategy, the RLC, the moving averages, all that is exactly the same across all markets, especially the currency markets like the cryptocurrencies. But the market structure is way different. Like the market structure and the speed of the moves and the way the market kind of develops is just way different. Right. Let's stop that here and quick. Let's see. Yeah, this is a trade where I kind of fucked up. Like the idea was good, but very, very clear. And look at how clear this trend is. The 4-hour trend where you had like it's breaking below, retesting every level. Now we're getting a change in behavior down here. So I'm not sure about this one. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to take a closer look at this one. You know what? I've been streaming for 1.5 hours now. I feel like I'm getting really tired. It's better to do the analysis just quicker tomorrow than to actually continue doing this now. It's just gonna take way too long. It's better to do this in the morning. All right, guys. I think I'm done with the stream tonight. I would like to thank you all for coming to the live stream tonight. And like I said, if you're interested in checking out live streams like this one on a daily basis, go to thebirdnest.com. Check it out, guys. You can join for free and check out all the live streams for free, basically. So yeah, take care, guys, and see you guys next time. Thanks for joining.